inkproducts.com has now released its Executive Series 3 continuous ink system for all the new Canon printers. We've made a lot of changes. You're going to get all the parts and pieces needed to install it. One thing I'll point out, we no longer use backflow dampers. They're not required, and you really shouldn't use them because the print heads in the newer Canons are not strong enough to draw ink. So we had to come up with a completely new design. Now we use a double loop hose bracket. You can see it there on the side. We also change the type of hose used. This is what's used mostly. We have a new type of hose that we use now. It's a lot more flexible because there's very little room in the Canon printers to install this CIS. And we don't want to cut the printer. We don't want to void any warranties. So now we no longer use backflow dampers, a different style hose. We give you all the syringes. We give you purge tools. We also give you the safety catch. And I'm going to show you how to set it up with this video. Now, you want to plug the printer in. If it's got cartridges in, bring it over. Take all the cartridges out, then unplug the printer. And the reason you're going to unplug it is because you've got to do hose travel. Now, when installing the cartridges, you might get some ink on your hands. So you might want to get a pair of rubber gloves. Also, I'm going to lay down some paper napkins right here because I'm going to put the cartridges on it so I can put them in. So I'm going to turn the cartridges over and lay them down. I also marked on the cartridge what color goes where. So if I ever have to put the clip back on, the orange clip back on, it's going to go right back on the color it came off. Now the next step is I'm going to reach over here. I'm going to shut off the little ink shut of them. I'm going to make sure that I didn't open up those air plugs. Now what I can do is remove the ink from the isobaric chamber by rocking it. Got to do this. Also, you notice we don't use backflow dampers. We're using our new design, the double loop hose bracket. If you use backflow dampers on the new Canons, the print heads aren't strong enough to draw the ink. Now this gives it a perfect flow of ink to the print head. So it's a nice new design. And we'll also show you how to put on the safety catch so you can put the... Okay, now I've got the safety catch. Should have a letter A and a letter B. A goes on the ink tank and B will go on the printer. The reason is up in the top of the A, it's closed off there. So when you slide the tank down, it locks it down. So I'll put it together first. Then I'll find out where I want to position it. I'll probably put it about here and push it against the printer. So I'll peel and stick it, put it right about in the center. And I peeled all the tape, stuck it to the ink tank. I'm going to find out where I want to put it, and then I'm going to press it against the printer. I'm going to leave it like that. Now you can lift it off, fill it, or fill it the way it is, and then it'll just slide back onto that clip that's on the printer. That's how you put the safety catch on. And I took off the rubber band. Now taking off the orange clips, let me just show you something. You lift the front of the orange clip, but don't pull it off, because if you do, you can damage this right here. So I'll do this again. Unsnap it, just unsnap it. Slide it back a little bit. Then it comes right off without damaging the little clips on the side. That's the way you want to take off the orange clips. And if you got some ink that's near the exit port, you can go in there with the paper napkin and wipe it off so it's not dripping when you go to put the cartridges in. There again, lift up on the clip, release it, slide it back, and then it'll come right off. This way you don't damage the orange clips so you can use them over again. Okay, now I've got all the ink. Use a paper napkin to take up any excess of ink you got there. Now, with one hand, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to lay them down in there. Just lay them down in there. I'm going to get them seated in first. for. Now this is very important. If you don't put them in correctly, or they pop up in the front and you clip them down, they're very difficult to get out again. So just take your time here. Use a flashlight. Make sure they go in on an angle, and then you can click them down. Make sure you put the right one in the right color. So you shine that light in there, make sure that's in, then it'll click. If you do it wrong, then you're going to have to work at it to get that cartridge back out. So I made sure it's in, and I click it down. Now near the clip here, you got to be careful when you're pushing down to get them in. There you go. That's going to be in. Then you're going to hold that hose like that, and you're going to slide it all the way over to the right. Okay, now you're going to get a piece of felt. You're going to stick it on right here. That's going to protect the hose so it doesn't rub on the plastic. Also, this hose is strictly for the Canon systems because it's got to be more pliable because, as you can see, there's not a lot of room. So this is a special hose. Okay, so now I'm going to peel and stick it right there. Peel down. I'm going to push this over. I'm going to hold the hose and push it over as far as it'll go. You should be able to see it right here. Then we'll install the hose bracket, and the hose is going to run right out the side here, and you're going to be putting another hose bracket right here. Now the other hose bracket looks like this. We're going to put the little clips on that'll hold the hose onto that bracket. Now the bracket will have some tape on the back, so you're going to peel and stick it down right on top of the machine. And now I push the cartridge assembly all the way over. I can see the cartridge. Now I install the hose, lay it flat on top of the hose bracket. Make sure it's not twisted. Now I'm going to place the hose bracket. The edge of the hose bracket is going to line up with the edge of that hinge, right like that. Now you see this, the one right after the hose bracket's got two cutouts. I'm going to line that up with the split in the top. So it's going to go just like that. That's going to give me my perfect hose alignment. So then you're going to peel and stick it down just like that. Remember, this is going to line up with the split, and it's going to be pushed to line up with this little area here on the hinge. So I'm going to go just like that. Okay, now I peeled that tape, I stuck it down. You can see I'm lined up right here. This little cutout here where the hose clip goes lines right up here. Hose is nice and straight, it's all the way over. Now what I have to do is just put another hose bracket right here on the side. Then, next thing is you're going to put in the interlock jumper, this little jumper. Now this jumper will come out when you have to reset the ink level. If you get an X, take that out, open the cover, take it out, and then put it back in, and it'll reset the ink color. Okay, now I just set up the hose bracket. Now before I turn it on, I'm going to open up the shut-off, and I'm also going to open up the little plugs in the bottles so I can let air into the tank. Now you might want to have a piece of paper towel handy because sometimes you get a little ink on your fingers when you're taking these plugs out. They all have to be open to the air. And then you can close the cover. That protects the ink from light and dust. Close it up. Put it right next to the printer, or you can put on the safety catch that we supply. So this can't be knocked over. Now we'll go plug it in. Plugged it in and turned it on. Now if you get a yellow light flashing here, that means this little interlock plug is not in correctly, because it won't work. Make sure you shut this front access door here too, otherwise you will get another error code. Now you can watch hose travel when it starts up, that it's not too tight or too loose, or it bunches up underneath this area here. You don't want it to bunch up. And then we'll run a print head cleaning and a nozzle check. Now this printer doesn't have a LED, so we have to do it all from the computer screen. Okay, now I'm printing out a nozzle check. Looks good. That's what you want. And also I got to watch the hose go back and forth, so everything is working great. That's how easy it was to install our new Executive Series 3. We didn't have to cut the printer. The new hose works awesome. You can shut down the lid. You've got the new double loop hose bracket. You should not see a lot of air in the lines. That's how easy it was to install. Now when you're using a continuous ink system, you always want to set your print quality on best or high, no matter what you print. It's going to clean less, you're going to use less ink, and it's going to keep that print head a lot cooler. So that's the way I always set it, no matter what I'm printing. And you can save that setting, and it'll do it automatically every time. Okay, now it's showing that the cyan is out of ink. Now we're going to show you how to reset it. You'll also get that code, which is code 1600. Shows you when it's time to set your ink color or ink level back up. When it shows the red X, all you have to do is remove the green interlock plug. Cartridges will come over. When they come over, then you're going to put the green interlock plug back in. That's all you have to do. And place it back in. That's it. That's how simple it was to reset the ink level.